The briefing room aboard the Ark Endeavor buzzed with quiet tension as the selected crew of Deathworlders, humans born from Earth's brutal environments, waited for their assignment. Captain Kira Solis stood at the head of the table, her sharp eyes scanning the team. Hardened soldiers, elite scientists, and survival experts were gathered for a mission that only a species accustomed to struggle could hope to complete. A hologram flickered to life at the center of the table. A council representative, tall and robed in shimmering alien silk, materialized. The being, an Asmari, a race known for their deep wisdom and cool intellect, spoke in a gravely serious tone. Humans, the Council has summoned you for a task of galactic importance. An ancient threat, once thought extinct, has returned. The hologram shifted, showing a nebulous, swirling mass of energy, Kahru'qula, an entity from the far reaches of the galaxy, powerful enough to consume entire systems. The screen showed star charts littered with collapsed stars and broken planets, each a testament to its destruction. What exactly are we dealing with? Lance Hawkins, a broad-shouldered former Special Forces operative, asked, crossing his arms with a steely gaze. An apex predator, the Asmari continued, its voice heavy with the weight of millennia. A creature that exists beyond your understanding of space and time. It consumes not just life, but entire dimensions. It has awakened again, and our most advanced technologies have proven ineffective. We, the Council of the Ancients, cannot stop it. Captain Kira glanced around the room, sensing the unease settling over her team. Yet, she spoke with the calm authority that had earned her command. And you believe we can? The hologram paused. You are Deathworlders. You come from a world where survival is your birthright. Your ability to adapt in the face of impossible odds is unparalleled. The galaxy has long underestimated humanity, but now, we ask for your help. Dr. Ivan Malikov, a xenobiologist who specialized in studying hostile alien ecosystems, leaned forward, intrigued. You're saying this thing is beyond even your comprehension, yet you think humans might survive where you have failed? The Asmari nodded slowly. Precisely. Your instincts for survival in hostile conditions give you an advantage. You must journey to Outpost Nexus-9, at the galactic rim, where traces of Kahru'qula have been found. There, you will begin the most dangerous mission of your lives. Silence filled the room. Captain Kira looked to her team. She saw fear in their eyes, but also determination, the same iron resolve that had carried humanity through countless wars, famines, and disasters. She nodded, breaking the tension. We'll take the mission. Prepare for departure. The hologram faded, leaving the humans alone with their thoughts. As the team dispersed to ready themselves for the journey, a chilling reality settled over them. They were about to face an enemy beyond anything they had ever known. For the galaxy, and for humanity itself, this was the ultimate challenge. And they would face it fearlessly. The Ark Endeavor dropped out of faster-than-light travel with a jarring thud, the usual smooth deceleration disrupted by something unseen. Outpost Nexus-9 loomed ahead, barely visible through the warped light and swirling energy anomalies surrounding it. The once proud station now drifted in isolation, its skeletal frame battered and scarred. No signs of life. Only silence. Inside the ship, Captain Kira Solis stood beside Dr. Ivan Malikov, studying the readouts. What the hell happened here, she muttered, her eyes narrowing as she scanned the chaotic signals coming from the station. Malikov frowned, his brow furrowed. Gravitational distortions. Time anomalies. This place, it's breaking down, Kira. The Kahru'qula's influence is destabilizing everything around it. Behind them, Lance Hawkins readied his gear, his demeanor steady but wary. No welcoming party. Not a good sign, he said, locking his helmet in place. Let's go see what's left. The team boarded their dropship and made a cautious approach to Nexus-9. The docking bay was eerily empty. No engineers. No personnel. Only the echo of their footsteps as they stepped off the ramp. The air inside was thick with a strange metallic taste, tinged with the scent of decay. "Split up," Kira ordered, her voice calm but firm. "Stay in constant contact. We gather whatever intel we can and get out. No heroics." The team moved through the station's winding corridors, flashlights cutting through the oppressive darkness. The walls were marred with scratches, scorch marks, and unsettling symbols that none of them could decipher. As Kira and Malikov advanced toward the control center, the eerie stillness became heavier, the air itself feeling wrong, as if the station were alive and watching them. "Captain, you should see this," came Hawkins' voice over the comms. Kira and Malikov rushed to meet him in the crew quarters. What they found sent a chill down their spines. A series of holographic logs still flickered on a console. The faces of the researchers displayed desperation and terror, their final messages incomplete, their voices strained. We tried everything," said one of the researchers, her eyes wide with panic. "The distortions are getting worse. We thought we could contain it, but it's feeding off our attempts. The others, they're gone. They're not themselves anymore." Her voice cracked as she glanced over her shoulder. "If anyone finds this, leave. Leave now." The log cut off abruptly, and the room fell silent again. "This isn't just an alien attack," Malikov said, his voice hushed. "This is something more, something we've never seen before." Kira clenched her fists. "We need to move. Whatever happened here, we're not sticking around to join them." Just as they turned to leave, the air grew thick with an oppressive energy, and the walls seemed to bend, twisting unnaturally. Shadows slithered across the floors, moving in ways that defied the laws of physics. Out of the corner of her eye, Kira caught movement, something not entirely real but not a hallucination either. "Contact!" Hawkins shouted. The team barely had time to react as the shadows materialized into monstrous shapes, creatures that defied reason, their bodies twisting and bending through space itself. The battle was swift and brutal, but the humans held their ground, driven by sheer survival instinct. As the last creature dissipated into nothingness, Kira wiped the sweat from her brow. "This is just the beginning," she muttered, as the station groaned around them. "We need to find Kahru'qula, before it finds us." The Ark Endeavor shuddered violently as it entered uncharted space. The laws of physics seemed to bend and flex around the ship as it moved deeper into the heart of the anomaly. Stars flickered in and out of existence, and the swirling colors of space itself distorted into unnatural shapes. Captain Kira Solis gripped the armrest of her command chair, her knuckles white. "Steady," she ordered, voice calm despite the tension that filled the cockpit. Dr. Ivan Malikov, seated at the console beside her, stared intently at the readouts. "These gravitational anomalies are unlike anything I've ever seen. We're in the belly of the beast now, Kira." Lance Axe Hawkins stood behind them, arms crossed. "Just keep us moving forward. No turning back now." Ahead of them, a massive planet loomed, shrouded in thick clouds of swirling, otherworldly energy. The air itself seemed to ripple, creating an unsettling sense of disorientation. This was no ordinary planet, it was the lair of the Kahru'qula, a place that defied the very fabric of reality. "We're being pulled in," Malikov warned, his voice tight. "Gravity is erratic. We're barely holding together." Kira made a snap decision. "Prepare for descent. We need to land, or this ship is going to tear apart." The Ark Endeavor plunged toward the surface, its shield straining against the gravitational distortions. As the ship broke through the planet's thick atmosphere, the view below them was nightmarish, vast, shifting landscapes that changed form as they watched. Mountains rose and fell, oceans appeared and evaporated in mere moments, and the sky churned with lightning that struck in irregular patterns. The ship landed roughly on a patch of relatively stable ground, shaking as the hull groaned under the strain of the bizarre environment. The crew quickly disembarked, stepping out into the warped, alien landscape. "We need to find the source," Kira said, her voice resolute. "The Kahru'qula is here, somewhere." Malikov scanned the horizon, eyes wide with both fear and fascination. "This place, it's not real. At least, not in the way we understand it. Space, time, gravity, it's all fluid here. This planet exists outside of our normal reality." Hawkins checked his weapons, every muscle in his body tense. "Then we better be ready for anything." As they ventured deeper into the landscape, the effects of the planet's distortions grew more intense. Time seemed to stretch and contract, leaving the team disoriented. Shadows danced on the edges of their vision, and strange whispers echoed in their ears, as if the planet itself was alive and aware of their presence. Suddenly, the ground shifted beneath them, and a massive creature emerged, a grotesque, twisted amalgamation of limbs and energy, its form constantly changing. It was a manifestation of the Kahru'qula, a fragment of its power made flesh. The team fought with everything they had, but the creature seemed impervious to normal weapons, shifting and reforming each time they struck. "It's feeding off the environment," Malikov shouted. "We can't kill it like this." Kira's mind raced, and then she had an idea. "We need to use the anomalies against it. Force it into a gravitational distortion." With Hawkins and Malikov working together, they lured the creature toward a nearby anomaly, a swirling vortex of unstable energy. The moment the creature crossed its threshold, it was torn apart, its form unraveling into the chaotic forces of the planet. Breathing heavily, Kira looked at her team. "We're getting closer. But we need to find Kahru'qula itself, before this entire place collapses." The planet groaned, and the landscape shifted once more, as if it too was preparing for their final confrontation. The landscape ahead twisted in impossible ways, a swirling mass of distorted geometry and flickering light. Time itself seemed to stutter as Captain Kira Solis led her team closer to the center of the planet, where Kahru'qula awaited. The gravitational anomalies tugged at them, warping their perception of distance and space. Each step felt like crossing an eternity. "We're almost there," Kira said, her voice low but steady. Her team, Dr. Ivan Malikov and Lance Axe Hawkins, followed close behind, their movements tense and deliberate. The oppressive energy of the planet weighed on them all, but they had no choice but to press forward. Ahead, the ground rippled like liquid, forming a jagged, floating platform suspended in a sea of darkness. At its center was the source of all the chaos, Kahru'qula. The entity wasn't a creature in any conventional sense. It was a shifting vortex of pure energy, a mass of tendrils and light bending reality around it. The air around it crackled, rippling with power that defied comprehension. Malikov's breath hitched. This thing isn't just alive. It's rewriting the very laws of physics around it. If it continues, it could collapse the entire region of space. Kira nodded, her jaw set. "Then we stop it. No matter what." Hawkins raised his rifle, but it trembled slightly in his hands. "Weapons won't work on that. You saw what happened to the other manifestations. This thing is beyond physical damage." Kira turned to Malikov. "You said this entity feeds off the instability of spacetime, right? How do we use that against it?" Malikov's mind raced, the scientist in him both terrified and fascinated. "If we could trap it inside a dimensional fold, a collapsing pocket of space, it might sever its connection to our reality. But doing that, it could kill us all." "We don't have another option," Kira said, determination burning in her eyes. "How do we trigger a fold?" Malikov quickly scanned the surrounding environment, his gaze settling on a massive gravitational distortion nearby. "There, if we can overload the anomaly with enough energy, it could trigger a collapse. We just need to lure Kahru'qula close enough." Hawkins cracked a grim smile. Always the bait. Kira nodded to him. We'll cover you. You get it in position. The team sprang into action. Hawkins sprinted across the shifting platform, firing his rifle to draw the attention of the entity. Kahru'qula's tendrils of energy lashed out, bending reality as it moved, but Hawkins was faster, darting between the rippling space. Malikov worked furiously, setting the charges to overload the gravitational anomaly. Almost there, he shouted. Hawkins led the entity closer, his breath ragged as the oppressive energy pressed against him. Come on, you ugly thing, he muttered, diving at the last moment as Kahru'qula surged toward the trap. Now! Kira yelled. Malikov triggered the collapse. The anomaly flared brightly, then imploded, pulling Kahru'qula into the fold. The entity shrieked, a sound that wasn't physical but echoed through their minds, as it was torn from their reality. The ground beneath them shook violently as the dimensional fold consumed itself, destabilizing everything around it. Kira grabbed Malikov and Hawkins, dragging them toward their ship as the world around them crumbled. They barely made it inside the Ark Endeavor before the planet began to collapse. The ship lifted off, struggling against the gravitational forces as the anomaly collapsed behind them, taking Kahru'qula with it. As they broke free of the planet's atmosphere, silence filled the cockpit. The nightmare was over, but the toll was heavy. Kira looked out at the swirling void left in the entity's wake. We did it, Malikov whispered, still in disbelief. Kira nodded, but her eyes remained on the dark expanse. For now. They had stopped Kahru'qula, but in the deepest corners of space, they knew this wasn't the end. The galaxy was vast, and there were always more nightmares lurking in the dark.